is up, brawlers and bladers? It is I, Bakudad, one half of the Baku Boys, and if this is your first time to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, drop a comment so you can help keep our channel growing, as we do try and release weekly Bakugan and Beyblade content every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into what I've got in store for you guys for this video. So today's video is for Wednesday, July 14th. I'm actually recording this video on Sunday, but it will be uploaded Wednesday, July 14th. But this is actually going to be one of our first new pieces of some new content that Bakukid and I are kind of slowly working on, just bringing in every now and then. But that is actually going to be our first unboxing for the card game Force of Will, and this is actually for the fixed card set Vingolf 2. And from what I understand about this actual particular box set is the characters in this box are actually based off the Valkyria Chronicles video game series. And to give a little brief history about the Force of Will card game, it actually it launched in 2012 out of Japan, and unfortunately, I mean, with as much as I love Japan, but Japan has a big tendency of dropping a lot of TCGs that just die out. Like, Japan has a big love for TCGs, but not a lot of them really stick. And Force of Will is actually one that I think is very highly underrated. I used to be a competitive Magic the Gathering player, and one thing that Force of Will fixed that I wish Magic the Gathering would have fixed is it's how resources work in Magic the Gathering compared to Force of Will. All your mana cards or your resource cards are actually shuffled into your main deck, which can really randomize sometime with you either getting mana flooded or just complete mana shortage, which would result in pretty much a mana shortage is you going into a store having little to no money, but seeing everything you want. And a mana flood is the equivalent of having a lot of money, but going into a store and finding nothing you want to buy. So, but Force of Will, how Force of Will did that is they actually separated it to make a separate resource deck. So all your resources are a separate deck aside from your main deck, and then you just draw, you activate the ruler or commander of your deck to draw mana from your mana deck or magic stone deck. And that is how you utilize the resources in this game. And they break down combat into many different combat rounds that you can perform in your main phase, instead of just one whole combat phase that is done during your turn in Magic the Gathering. My friend introduced this game to me like a few years ago, helped me build a deck, and this has become my favorite TCG. But aside from that, we are also going to check out something that I got from Amazon today. I know exactly what is in this package, but I thought it would be cool to open this up for you guys as well to see what is also going to be coming for some future content. So let's just go ahead and break open this Amazon package right now. So, first thing is a Bakugan TCG Pyrus faction pack. We already have seen these faction packs before, but it's cool because you get 10 random Pyrus cards along with four booster packs, which is actually really cool. I know the first card that you get for the Pyrus cards is Promo Might of Syndius, but the other cards are kind of mixed in, and then I can't wait to see what we get out of the packs for that. That will be for another video. And then last thing out of this package is a whole entire 36 booster pack booster box of Force of Will, Curse of the Frozen Casket. This will also be another future video that will be fun to do. I'm excited about opening some booster packs for you guys and checking all that out. But we are not going to waste that much more time. We're going to cut straight to the table where we will open up this awesome Force of Will Vingolf box and check out everything that this box has inside. Catch you guys in just a moment. Alright guys, here we are back at the table, ready to go ahead and open up this awesome Force of Will box. As you can see, we also have some of our other future unboxing stuff in the back as well. Trying to actually make our setups look a little bit better for the channel too. But as you can see, this still has the plastic seal on it, which is so awesome. So let's just go ahead and start just breaking open into it right now. And you know what? Let's just grab my handy dandy safety knife. Yeah, there we go. Get a good little start on that. Now, like I said, this is actually a fixed box set. As you can see, it contains 225 cards, 95 different kinds of cards. Essentially, this box has 5 complete decks in it. And 1 pack of bonus cards. This actually has 10 cards that are foils of some of the cards that you see in some of these decks. So yeah, you can see that there's 5 different decks. In Force of Will, there are 5 different attributes, pretty much almost like your main 5 attributes in Magic the Gathering, your main 5 attributes that are technically also within Bakudad, with the exclusion of the Aurelus faction. So let's actually keep this. This box is actually really nice. I like it. Instruction booklet, 2 play mats, and a detailed reference guide. I actually have all this stuff already. And not to mention, I have my awesome Force of Will playmat right here, showcasing one of my favorite characters in Force of Will, Alice. The same Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Set that back right there so everything sets nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at this pack of bonus cards real quick. I'm actually really curious about this because this is randomized. All 5 of these decks actually have a set. You actually know what cards come in those, but this bonus pack, you do not know what foil cards you will get out of this bonus pack. So, first off, we have a copy of Courageous Stand. This is actually, right here you can see how you pay for the cards. So you'd have to pay 1 fire will, will attribute, and then 1 generic. Target Resonator, or if Magic the Gathering fans are watching this, Target Resonator or creature gains plus 800 until end of turn. We have Alexis Hilden, 2 Wind Will for just a vanilla 600 Resonator. Clementine Forster, or Clementia Forster. When this card enters your field, search your main deck for an addition reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your main deck. It's a 400/400. Maximilian, 2 Darkness Will, 4 generic. When this card enters your field, destroy target resonator your opponent controls. Whenever a resonator is put into a graveyard from your opponent's field, you gain 400 life, 1,000 and 1,200. Ooh, we have a Regalia, Edelweiss, 3 generic. You may pay 2 less to play judgment abilities. Banish this card. Squad 7 members you control gain +400/+400 until end of turn. Play this ability only if you control a J ruler. Power of Unity, 1 wind, 1 generic. Target resonator gains +600/+600 until end of turn. If you control 4 or more resonators, it also gains whenever this card deals damage to a resonator. This card deals that much damage to your opponent until end of turn. Layla Perrin, 1 fire, 1 generic. Rest, target resonator gains +400 until end of turn, +400 attack. 2 fire will and rest this card. This card deals damage equal to its attack to target resonator, and it's a 400/400. Ragnide Gas, 1 darkness, 1 generic. Target J resonator gains -500/-500 until end of turn. Craze, Cherny, 1 water, 1 generic. When this card enters your field, draw a card, and it's a 300/300. And Martha Lipponen, and it's a vanilla resonator, 0 attack, 1,000 defense. Baku Kitten, you are just being all destructive, knocking everything over. Okay. Now, let us start pulling out these decks. And we'll take a look at all these decks. Baku Kid and I, we really like all the art that is on these Force of Will cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at this water attribute deck first. All right, and here is the commander or ruler of the deck, Alicia Melchiot. This is its judgment side, so when this card enters your field, return target resonator to its owner's hand. When this card enters your field, you may add an addition J resonator from your hand to this card, and it's an 800/800. Here's its regular ruler side. Pay 7 for the judgment. You may pay 1 less to play this ability for each squad 7 resonator you control. Alright, Baku Kitten, come on. Alright. Okay, we have Alicia's Lance. 2 water, 1 generic. Added J resonator gains +400/+400. As long as it's Alicia Melchiot, it gains flying. Whenever damage is dealt to added J resonator, draw a card. Bridget Rosie Stark. Whenever this card blocks or is blocked, it gains -300/-300 until end of turn. That's 700/700. Cordelia Guillerangris. 2 water, 1 generic, rest, discard a card, return target resonator to its owner's hand, and it's 0/600. You can actually, I'm not going to go ahead and read what its will cost is, because we can clearly see what the will cost is. We can see the attack and defense. Eleanor Verrett, when this card enters your field, you may put a squad 7 with total cost 3 or less from your hand onto the field. Oh, that's actually pretty good, being able to just put squad 7 members directly onto your field.
Faldio Lanzat. This card gains +300/+300 as long as you control a Regalia. Asara Gunther. When this card enters your field, look at the top 4 cards of your main deck. You may have revealed a card named Velkin Gunther from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your main deck. Banish this card to draw a card. That's 200/200. Craig Cherny. Yep, when it enters your field, draw a card. Yep, we've seen that. Largo Potter. Whenever this card attacks, it gains +100/+100 for each Squad 7 Resonator you control until end of turn. Martis von Borg. Card's name Cordelia G. Rangries. You control cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls. If damage would be dealt to a Cordelia G. Rangries you control, it's dealt to this card instead. 201,000. Momentary Respite. Rest up to 2 target resonators your opponent controls. They don't recover during their controller's next recovery phase. Oh, that's cool for putting some tempo on your opponent. Sniping from the blind spot. Return target rested resonator to its owner's hand. The Carefree 3. Draw 3 cards. Velkin Gunther. When this card enters your field, return target resonator to its owner's hand. If you control less resonators than your opponent, it's a 700/700. Zaka. When this card enters your field, search your main deck for a card named Edelweiss. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your main deck. It's 600/600. Here is that Edelweiss. You may pay 2 less to pay Judgment. Yep. And, ooh, it is a dual will card. Magic Stone of the Dark Depth. Produces either darkness or water will. Light Vapors. Produces either light or water. And then here are some water stones. And then it goes into all the other cards that we just saw. So that is one complete deck. Baku Kitten. Hi, Kitten. Okay. Let's take a look at this Wind deck now. I actually think that it's really cool that this fixed box set gives you 5 complete decks to play with, and it's literally everything like straight out of the box. This is not like a standard 2-player starter set. It's not like a regular standard 2-player starter set that gives you just 2 basic decks straight out of the box. You get five decks to play with that you and another friend could just pick up straight out of the box and just start playing. It gives you everything. I think this is really, really worth it for the price it was. And honestly, on Amazon, this was like about $20 after tax, which was a really, really good deal. You get a lot of value for what you pay. I think the card stock is great. I think the art style on these cards is really nice. I mean, it's very vibrant, it's colorful, it's really awesome anime style artwork too. And that's another thing that really draws Baku Kid and I into this game is the anime art style for it. Baku Kid and I, we just love anime in general. It's one of our big like bonding moments is being able to bond over some of our favorite anime. But let's go ahead and get back to this Wind deck. So here is our ruler for the deck. Alias. She costs 5 to pay her Judgment, and after Judgment, she has Flying, and whenever this card attacks, recover all magic stones you control. 801,000. Here's Alexis Hilden. We actually saw this one because we have that one in foil. Alice's Lance. Add a J Resonator, gains +100/+100 for each recovered magic stone you control. So, unrested. Anisette Nelson. When this card enters your field, draw a card. It's an 800/800. Avon Hardens. You may pay 1 less to play this card for each student Resonator you control. 1500/1500. Bulletproof Barrier. Prevent the next damage that would be dealt to target Resonator this turn. Cosette Colhearth. Other Resonators you control gain +400/+400. 800/800. Destructive Assault. Destroy target addition or regalia. Juliana Everhart. Use a Wind Will. This card gains +200/+200 until end of turn, and she's a 1000/1000. Lavinia Lane. Rest her. Recover target regalia, and she's a 300/300. Yeah, you can definitely see the attack and defense values. This game, you can tell it was made in Japan. And kind of almost like Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a little bit, but instead of you and your opponent starting with 8,000 life, you and your opponent start with 4,000 life. And we have Magari. Rest her. She produces 2 Windwill. That's actually not bad. She's really good for ramp. And she's a 200/400. Marion Siegebon. When you play an addition, draw a card. She's a 200/400. Power of Unity. We actually have this one foil. Renee Randall. Alright, come on, Baku Kitten. Cards named Magari. You control cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls. And she's a 400/600. Zeri. When this card enters your field, put the top card of your Magic Stone deck into your Magic Stone area if you control less Magic Stones than your opponent. 500/500. And we have this regalia, Class G's Tank. Rest it, you can gain 1 generic rest, you gain 200 life. 2 generic rest, target Resonator cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls until end of turn. 3 generic rest, draw a card. 4 generic rest, rest target J Resonator. And here we go, another dual Magic Stone. Stone of Black Silence produces green, wind and darkness. And Stone of Deepwood produces wind or water. And then, of course, everything filters back through. So there is that deck. All right, time to check out this fire deck. Okay, and our ruler for this deck is Rayla Marcellus. Her judgment costs 9 generic. You may pay 1 less to play this ability for each nameless Resonator you control. And her when judgment has been used, as long as you control Kurt Irving, this card gains Swiftness, which is the Magic the Gathering equivalent for haste. When this card enters your field, it deals 1,000 damage to target Resonator, and she is 1,600. And here is Alphonse Avclair. When this card enters your field, target Resonator must block this turn if able. 800/800. Come on, Evie. No, Evie. Okay. And here is Amy Apple. This card cannot be attacked, and she's a 500/400. Bombardment. This card deals 600 damage to target player or resonator. Carissa Conson. 1 fire, 1 generic, rest. Search your main deck for a regalia with total cost 1 or more. Reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your main deck. And she's a 200/200. Clarissa Callaghan. Rest her. Target resonator gains swiftness until end of turn, and she's a 200/200. To a lot of you people, cats are sometimes not the best animals. I love my cat, but she can sometimes be very annoying. And here is a copy of Courageous Stand. We've already seen that one. We've got a foil of that one. Frederica Lips. When this card enters your field, gain control of target recovered resonator your opponent controls until end of turn. It gains swiftness until end of turn. That's actually pretty cool. And she's a 300/700. And here is Gussarg. Just a plain 800/800. Imka. As long as you control Kurt Irving, this card gains +300/+300. As long as your opponent controls a J ruler, this card gains swiftness and +500/+500. And it's a 500/500 already. And here is Kurt Irving. Whenever a resonator that was dealt damage by this card is this turn is put into a graveyard, this card deals 500 damage to your opponent, and he's a 1000/1000. Large Explosion. This card deals 800 damage to each player and resonator. Layla Perrin. Target resonator gains +400. Yeah, we've already seen the foil for her. Margit Ravelli. Whenever this card attacks, resonators you control gain +300/+300, and she's a 700/700. Rayla's Lance. Added J resonator gains +1000. The Nameless Tank. Whenever a Nameless enters your field, recover this card. Rest. This card deals 100 damage to target resonator. Or rest, if your J ruler would deal damage this turn, it deals that much +200 instead. And Stone of Blasting Waves produces wind or fire. And then Stone of Hearth's Core produces fire or water. And here is our water stones, and then straight back in with everything else. That is the fire deck. And now we have 2 decks left. Let's look at this light deck first. We'll save the dark deck for last. All right, so our ruler for the light deck is Alicia Melchiot again. Her Judgment 7, you may pay 1 less to play this ability for each Squad 7 resonator you control. And then, when this card enters your field, recover all Squad 7 resonators you control. Squad 7 resonators you control gain +200/+200, and she's a 400/1000 herself. Clementia Forster. When this card enters your field, search your main deck for an addition, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your main deck, and she's a 400/400. Eddie Nelson. As long as you control another Squad 7, this card gains 0/+500. When a Squad 7 you control is destroyed, rest this card. 500/500. Elshin Flower. Choose one, recover target resonator, or rest target resonator. First Aid. You gain 200 life for each magic stone you control. That's actually not too bad for being able to recover some lost life. A Flak Jacket. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to added J resonator. Homer Perrin. When this card enters your field, you gain 500 life, and he's a 700/700. Irene Ellett. When this card enters your field, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a squad 7, put it into your hand. And she's a 200/200. Ian Walker. When this card enters your field, destroy target tank. And he's a 500/500. Lynn, just a plain vanilla 900/900. Marina Wolfston. Rest and rest target resonator, and it's a 200/600. Martha Lippanen, plain vanilla 0/1000. Susie Evans. When this card enters your field, look at the top 3 cards of your main deck or Magic Stone deck and put them back in any order. That's not too bad for a 0/600. Symbol of Peace, up to 2 target resonators cannot attack this turn. Welver Glen, 2 light, rest, recover target resonator, 400/400. And Ragnite, rest, produces any will of your choice. Banish this card to produce any will of your choice. 2 light will, rest this, banish this card, recover your J ruler. And here is Stone of Gusting Skies, produces light or wind. And Stone of Heat Ray produces light or fire. And here are the light stones. And then back through everything else through the deck. And now for the last deck to check out, this awesome Darkness deck. Okay, and our ruler for this deck is Selvaria Bless. Judgment costs 6. You may pay 3 less to play this ability if you control Maximilian. Judgment ability is when this card enters your field, up to 2 target resonators gain -300/-300 for each Dre Stern you control. And she's a 900/700. Alright, we go with Audrey Gasnarl. This card gains +200/+200 as long as you control another Galleon army, and a 400/400. Baldrin Gasnarl. When this card is put into a graveyard from your field, your opponent loses 400 life, and it's a 700/700. Bertold Gregor. Whenever this card attacks, target resonator gains -400/-400 until end of turn, and he's a 300/500. The Howl. When this card enters your field, put target resonator from your graveyard into your hand, and he's a 1000/1000. We have Dirk Gasnarl, plain vanilla 300/300. Gilbert Gasnarl. Other Galleon armies you control gain +200/+200, and he is an 800/800. Hammer of the Valkyr. Destroy target J resonator. Lydia Agtha. When this card enters your field, rest it if you don't control another Calamity Raven. And 400/400. Maximilian, we've already seen this card because we've got the foil for this one. Roddy Jaeger. When this card enters your field, target resonator your opponent controls gains -200/-200 until end of turn. He's a 500/500. Ragnite Gas. We saw this one in the foils. Schemes of the Empire. Look at target opponent's hand and choose a card. They discard that card. Selvaria's Lance. Added J resonator gains 400/400, and whenever this card deals damage, you gain that much life. Ooh, that's actually not bad. Technically a lifesteal. Zig. As long as you control the Howl, this card gains +400/+0, and he's a 300/400. Here is the Imperial Tank. Your opponent pays 1 more to play Judgment abilities. You can either rest for your J ruler gains +200/+200 until end of turn, or Rest to banish a Resonator. Your J Ruler gains +500/+500 until end of turn. And here's a Stone of Heaven's Rift to produce either light or dark. And Stone of Scorched Bales to produce dark or fire. And here are the Darkness Stones. And then everything back through that we already saw. And that is the Darkness deck. And that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this awesome Force of Will unboxing for some of our new Force of Will content that will, it's not going to be like, it's not going to start coming in like heavy, but we'll be doing a little bit of Force of Will content every now and then. As you already know, we are going to be opening up this awesome booster box of Curse of the Frozen Casket. That is going to be so fun to open up soon, along with this Bakugan Pro TCG for some this Pyrus bonus faction pack that has some Pyrus cards along with some booster packs. That'll be a lot of fun to check out. But until next video, I am Bakudad, one half of the Baku Boys, signing off. And always remember to Bakugan Brawl and let it rip!